Today we talked about multiplying numbers by a one-digit number. And no matter how big or small the top number is, as long as the bottom number is one digit, the steps are going to be exactly the same. And here are the steps. So if I have 62 times 9, the first thing I would do is multiply the ones digits. That's the 2 and the 9. So 2 times 9 is 18. So I put the 8 down there and I carry the 1. So that's the next step. Carry if you need to. Then I multiply the tens. I multiply this digit here by the tens place in the top number. 9 times 6 is 54. Plus 1 is 55, and that's the end of my problem, so I just put 55 down here. And when I did that, I added that number up there, the carried number. Now, one thing that I ran into today when I was teaching this class is that a lot of kids don't know their times tables. So they see a problem like this and they think, I can't do it because I don't know what 9 times 6 is, for example. And if that happens, that's okay. That's not a reason not to do this. And this is what I told them to do. What you do, for instance, if you don't know your nines tables, you would write 9 times 1 equals 9. Everyone knows that one. And then you just write them out by adding 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. 9 times 3 equals 27. 9 times 4 equals 36. 9 times 5 equals 45. 9 times 6 equals 54. 9 times 7 equals 63. 9 times 8 equals 72. And 9 times 9 equals 81. And you just get these numbers by adding 9. Now, we are going to memorize these this year. We're going to do Rocket Math, and we are going to memorize our math facts. You have to have them memorized, or you're going to really struggle from now on when you take math in school. But we're gonna do that this year using Rocket Math. But until then, if you don't know your math facts, you need to do this. Just start out with 9, add 9, you get 18, add 9 to that, you get 27, add 9 to that, you get 36, and so on. So then, when I get to 9 times 2, I know that's 18, and I get to 9 times 6, I know that's 54, so I don't get stuck. And you can see why it's important to memorize your math facts, because this is actually really time-consuming, but until this is memorized, this is what you're going to have to do. You get out a piece of paper and you do this. So let's do some examples. We have 608 times 8. Now 8 times 8 is 64. Once again, if we don't know our math facts, we write down our 8's tables by adding 8. 8 times 0 is 6. Let me zoom in a little on this. Excuse me, 8 times 0 is not 6. 8 times 0 is 0, plus 6 is 6. 6 times 8 is 48. So that's one example. Let's do this one. 6 times 4 is 24, so I put the 4 here, I put the 2 up here. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 2 is 22. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2 is also 22. So that's the answer to this one. And now we have a number over here that is 4 digits times 1. Now these were 3 digits times 1. Notice it's the same process as the last problem we did on the previous slide with just 2 digits on top. You just keep going. You just keep going until you're done. It's not more difficult. It just takes a little bit longer. 5 times 7 is 35. 7 times 2 is 14. Plus 3 is 17. 9 times 7 is 63. Plus 1 is 64. I put the 4 here. 7 times 1 is 7. Plus 6 is 13. And that's 13,475. And now here are some problems that you'll see on the homework. We did these in class, and we did problems like this in the class, where some of the parts of the problem are blank, and you just have to fill it in. So this one starts out 6 times 6, and I know 6 times 6 is 36. So the 6 goes here, and the 3 goes up here. 9 times 6 is 54. If I add 3, that's 57. The 7 goes here, and the 5 goes up here. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 5 is 23. So, and this is 23, so it looks like I did it right. This one here is a little bit more complicated. I have to multiply something by 8 and get a number that ends in 6. So I'm going to do my 8's tables just to illustrate how this would work. 8 times 1 equals 8. If I add 8 to that, that's 8 times 2 equals 16. 8 times 3 equals, 24. 8 times 4 equals 32. 8 times 5 equals 40. 8 times 6 equals 48. 8 times 7 equals 56. 8 times 8 equals 64. 8 times 9 equals 72. All right. So I need to multiply 8 by something, I don't know what that is yet, and get 6 as in my ones place. Well, this has a 6 in the ones place, and this has a 6 in the ones place. So I need to figure out how to do that. Or I need to figure out which one of these it is. So I'm going to start out with this one up here. So I'm going to say 8 times 2 is 16. 2 times 8 is 16. I carry the 1. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 1 is 17. Well, this is not a 7. So it can't be this one. So it must be the other one. It must be 7. 8 times 7. So let me put a 7 here and see what happens. 7 times 8 is 56. As it says here, 8 times 2 is 16, plus 5 is 21. I carry the 2. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10. And 5 times 8 is 40, plus 1 is 41. And that's how I get that. Now you have problems like this, where they are side by side, 116 times 3, and all you need to do is put them on top of each other like that. Now, this is very difficult to do. You need to rewrite it so it looks like this. 6 times 3 is 18. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. So 3 times 6 is 18, carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. And 3 times 1 is 3. And here's another one, 338 times 4. 8 times 4 is 32. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 3 is 15. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 1 is 13. So I have 1,352. So now I'm going to do a problem like this one, another problem like this, because these are pretty challenging. This has, well, I'll just go through it. 6 times 7 is 42. So I put a 2 here, I put a 4 up here. Now I have to figure out something. Now there's a problem like this on the homework, at least one problem like this in the homework, where you have to multiply this times a mystery number, then add 4, and then the answer will be 3, or whatever it is. But there'll be this type of problem on the homework. I multiply 7 times something, I add 4, and then after I add 4, the number will end in 3. So this is a challenging one. So let's write out our 7s. 7 times 1 is 7. I'm just going to put the answers, 14, 28, excuse me, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63. There. So those are my 9s, or my 7s. So if I add something to, if I add 4 to these, I should end up with a number that ends in 3. If I add 4 to one of these, I should end up with 3. So if I add 3 to 7, I'm going to get 10. Okay, so that's not it. How about to 4? Excuse me. If I add 4 to 7, I get 11. That's still not it. If I add 4 to 14, I get 18. Okay, that's not it. If I add 4 to 21, I get 25. That's not it. I'm looking for a number that ends in 3. 28 plus 4 is going to be 32. 35 plus 4 is going to be 39. 42 plus 4 is going to be 46. 49 plus 4 is going to be 53. Hey, that ends in 3. It's not this one, it's not this one, it's not this one. Let's try, so if I count these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 49 is 7 times 7. So let me put a 7 here. 7 times 7 is 49 plus 4 is 53. So that has a 3 on the bottom. Put a 5 up here. 7 times 5 is, at this point I'm just checking to see if it was right. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 5 is 40, so I have a 0 here. So far that's correct. So I carry the 4. 7 times 8 is 56, excuse me. 56, and then I add the 4, and then I get 60. So that was right. It's 7 in this space and 2 in this space. And so that's one way you can do a problem like this. You will see a problem like that on your homework.